But I wanted to tell you, I mentioned the 30 years of the annual report. I said annual reports because I used to do annual reports. Annual media awards, where we honor people and projects who embody voices of courage and conscience. And in 2022, we honored American-ish. We honored Iman and Aizzah's film that just was acquired by Sony Pictures, and I'll talk about that later. And then we also honored Nida and Manzoor for We Are Lady Parts. And I was so worried about shipping her crystal to the UK, so I just kept it in LA, and I just figured when she's in LA next, I'll give it to her. And I guess Utah was close enough. And so, Nida, we want to present you with the media awards for. Yep. And so, can we take a picture? Habib, can you come on stage, please? Habib, can you come on stage? And there you are. Oh, Qasim. Everyone, Qasim, Basir. To Live and Die and to Live. World premiere. Okay, just quick look. Yeah, of course. It's heavy, huh? Great, and then Iman and Aizzah. Can you just come on up? Nice shirt. Thank you. And then you want to give it to Morgan? Thank you. Okay. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. You like that? Kind of cool. Good. I got closure. All right, I'm gonna scroll. I usually kill trees and I have paper, but I decided not to have paper. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. How are you? I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay, I found my notes. Our next panel is Muslim cinematic storytelling, and it is in community with the Islamic Scholarship Fund. Our moderator is Iman Zawahry, who is one of the first hijabi American Muslim filmmakers in the nation, a Sundance Momentum Fellow, and the director of film programs at the Islamic Scholarship Fund, ISF. ISF started in 2009 and was the very first American Muslim organization to ever fund Muslim filmmakers. Iman's feature film, American-ish, is the first American Muslim rom-com made by an American Muslim woman about Muslim women, and it was just acquired by Sony International. And I am a huge fan of Iman. I am also a huge fan of our other panelists, who Iman will give a proper introduction, but I want to express my gratitude and my appreciation to Nausheen, Imran, and Aizzah, and of course to Qasim and Nida, whose feature films made their world premiere at the festival a few days ago. Before I turn it over to Iman, let's take a look at the American-ish trailer, and then we'll hand it off to you, Iman.
Thank you, Sue.
All right, thank you.
Mom, don't you want us to have more than this? Be something?
Yes, but first you go and get married and have children. Then go, be whatever you want.
Dude, I'm never gonna be able to afford my own place. Home's not that bad. It's a zoo, Mariam.
What's the purpose of your visit?
I'm here to find a nice Pakistani-American doctor to marry.
Jeez, it's just a study group.
The MPACs aren't going to ace themselves. I want to go to Harvard. It has the best PEDS program in the country.
Hey. I gotta tell you, Roombas really freak me out. If you're gonna get a Roomba, just put it only in your room.
Khala, these prices are ridiculous. We will pay you 24 for it.
My daughters, they think they know everything best.
You know what? I'm a grown woman.
Boys don't like girls all covered up. You're never going to get married with that scarf on your head.
I don't want to be with someone who doesn't get my values.
Our country is being overrun by immigrants.
You're working on the Douglas Smarts account. I mean, the guy is a racist.
I got a call from the hospital. I'm gonna have to go in.
You don't need to marry the first guy who shows interest in you.
Everybody's gonna get what they want. This is America. A land of dreams.
All right, thank you so much. I'm so honored to be here with you all on this panel. My name is Iman Zawahry, and I am the Programs Director at Islamic Scholarship Fund, where we fund American Muslim filmmakers and create a restorative space of mentorship and fellowship and panels and things like that in order to create a safe space for Muslim filmmakers. I'm so honored to be here. You know, I just want to take a moment to really express this, which is the Muslim house. I was at a multicultural panel yesterday, and they brought all the houses to the multicultural panel. It was like the most, I felt like it was such like light. And Sue and MPAC were there, and they've been doing this for 8 years and creating a space to where we have put an imprint here, and I think it's so amazing. Can we please give them a hand for that? So, what I've dealt with most of the time here as an American Muslim filmmaker and the challenges is, you know, we are always asked as BIPOC filmmakers, like, okay, let's talk about representation, instead of really talking about our craft. And that's what we really want. My friend Nikiatu, who made Nanny, she had said, you know, look at someone and ask a BIPOC filmmaker what it is that is about the craft and watch their faces light up. And that's what we really need, and that's why we're here. So we curated this panel to show clips of films and then see why we have made these films and what they kind of mean to us and our stories, because we all have a unique voice. And so Americanish, I had made, with my partner Aizzah Fatima, to show the American Muslim woman that we're not a monolith and that we have agency over our own lives. And that was our journey in telling that story. And we're very excited that was seen by Sony Pictures, which is really awesome. So I want to start off introducing our amazing panelists. So we have Nida Manzoor, who is a writer-director and created the hit show We Are Lady Parts with BBC and Peacock, and has premiered her debut feature film, Polite Society, here at Sundance by Focus Features, and will be released nationwide April 28th. Welcome, Nida. Qasim Basir is on the ISF Film Advisory Council and is an award-winning writer and director, and he was a trailblazer as one of the first American Muslim filmmakers with his debut film, Muslim. His feature, A Boy, a Girl, a Dream, premiered at Sundance in 2008, and his film, To Live and Die, 2018. 2018. It says 18 on the sheet. 2018, and his film, To Live and Die and Live, world premiered at Sundance this year. Welcome, Qasim. Aizzah Fatima is a two-time ISF recipient, an actor, filmmaker, and comedian. She has appeared in New Amsterdam, Blue Bloods, and High Maintenance. The Wall Street Journal called her critically acclaimed one-woman play, Dirty Packy Lingerie, breaks down stereotypes of Muslim women. Imran J is a scholarship recipient, an ISF scholarship recipient, and an award-winning writer-director who's been in the film industry with years with editorial credits on major studio films. Currently, he's in post-production on his feature film entitled Mustache, a coming-of-age dramedy based on his real-life experiences growing up in Pakistani household in the Bay Area during the 90s, produced by Christopher Storer from 8th Grade and Rami and Christina Wan from Birdman and the Reverend. Welcome, Imran. And last but not least, we have Nausheen Dadabhoy, who is an ISF recipient and a director and cinematographer whose work spans fiction and documentary. She lends an Oscar-nominated film, an Emmy-winning documentary, and films that have played at Sundance, TIFF, Locarno, and on Hulu, HBO, and PBS. Her last feature, An Act of Worship, premiered at the Tribeca Film Festival and had a national broadcast on POV. Welcome, Nausheen. So let's get this started. Let's start off with Imran's film Mustache, which is a sneak peek that we are getting. It is going to be premiering at South by Southwest, and it is a work in progress that he's allowed us to show today. So let's play the clip. All right, so Imran, I always say I'm your #1 fan. I've known Imran for like 15 years, and when we were both kind of like in film school, or I was in film school and he was in undergrad, and he was just making videos, YouTube videos with Hassan Minhaj. He's come a long way, you know, editing and telling very distinct coming-of-age stories. Can you tell us a bit about Mustache and why you're telling this story?
Yeah, thank you for all that. Yeah, I think like Mustache came from like I guess first and foremost I was like looking for like what can I contribute, like what's my you know, you sometimes you go through like a program like film school or you know, you work in industry and you kind of feel like your voice is beaten out of you, or you start to second guess yourself, you start to not feel like you have a voice. And I was in that, and then I just kind of like doubled down on my own experiences, my own upbringing, my own like where I came from, and that's where Mustache came from. It was just like, okay, well, what's like unique to me? Like what's a story that like nobody could tell because it's so specific to me? And that was like my entryway into writing Mustache. And I also had this like dream, like I remember when I was in undergrad, you know, 17 whatever years ago, and I had this, I was like, oh, what if there's like a story like about like Muslim Americans, but there's like there's not one thing about terrorism. And it was just like, oh, that'd be cool. And I didn't like consciously, I wasn't like thinking about that like when I was writing this. I was just writing from my heart and writing from where like my own, like what was cool to me or funny to me or like interesting to me. And then like looking back, I'm like, oh yeah, that's interesting. Like that's also what it became, because it's also a movie set in the late 90s, like pre 9/11. Like it just doesn't have that like whole cloud over it that you know another story might. And it was just what I wanted to tell. And I don't know, that's kind of like where it came from, was just what's like forget everything, like what's cool to me. And I think that's like now something I learned from making the film, and like like how I want to operate going forward as an artist and as a filmmaker.
I really love that you said that you made it before 9/11, so it's not in that realm. Does anybody else kind of feel that in when they're telling their stories about how we're all pigeonholed in that one area?
Yeah, I don't know. Well, does anybody want to chime in here?
Yeah, I mean, I totally feel that in a way. Like for me, it was like wanting to, again, show up my story, but wanting to take over genres where I feel like we have been particularly excluded. You know, hearing about Americanish, doing a rom-com, for me, I was like, I really want to do an action movie. And so it's sort of like claiming spaces where we don't really see ourselves. So I feel like that's real.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. Let's go on to Nausheen's An Act of Worship.
Hi, so I'm gonna quickly just play some random piece of music over here and hope it goes well. See how it goes, okay? Bet it's gonna be so bad.
I have a baby sister. I like her very much.
What's her name?
Amina.
My dad used to sit on the edge of my bed every night and recite a prayer of protection over my sister and I. My parents got calls telling them, your children will be next. That experience taught them to keep their religion and culture hidden.
In the first day of class, the teacher made me stand up and tell people what it's like to be Iraqi. Like I was like this specimen, like this alien.
Farouk? What a weird name. I don't know why your parents named you that. You should be Jimmy. I'm gonna call you Jimmy.
I had something inside of me being like, I don't know who I am.
I have to scream louder. I'm Black, I'm Muslim, I'm here in order to be heard.
It took years to rediscover that assertive, bold person. Every day, I choose that path of resistance.
So Nausheen, you're a seasoned cinematographer, and your film Act of Worship, which is an ISF recipient film, tells the story of American Muslims. The film offers a counter-narrative of pivotal moments in U.S. history and expresses the impact of anti-Muslim rhetoric and policy on young Muslims who came after 9/11. I remember you making call-outs to American Muslim stories and getting footage. So these are true, authentic stories that she did a call-out into a very community-driven, and I think Imran's childhood.
I'm in there.
Yeah.
I was one of the kids in there.
Which is so awesome. Can you tell us why you told this story? And for you as an American Muslim, like telling this, how it kind of affected you?
So the film started in 2016. I watched the election. It was very traumatizing. And I started thinking about the film. And you see like the archival in it, but a large part of it is also present day verite that follows 3 young women who are kind of, they're doing activism around issues that are impacting the Muslim community. And we have a timeline of history. So it starts at in the 1970s really, and then like comes all the way to present day. And so it kind of goes back to your question about 9/11, like there's so much importance placed on 9/11, but Islamophobia in this country and in other countries like the UK started way before 9/11. And so it felt really important at that time to like think about our history and like it felt like also like important to sort of educate our community on what had happened to them. But at the same time, in talking to people, so when the sort of the structure of the film, it has these 3 young women that are in present day, and then there's this historical timeline that shows kind of like the weight of everything they're carrying, this like, this policy and history that's been impacting all of us. Like it's the weight of all of the things that we're carrying as we're even thinking about how we tell our stories, right? And that narrative of what that history was, one of the biggest challenges was like, okay, how do we tell that without telling it through news media footage, because that's been so violent towards our community. Like the official narrative is violent. And so I interviewed, I think like 60 people, some of them are in this room. Like it was just like a lot of people that I knew. And then I did call outs to people like Imran, and I was like, do you have home videos? And they kind of narrate each of those moments. And some of those narrations are like really hard because they're talking about trauma that they went through. But while you're hearing that, we have home video footage of what people's lives were like during that time, which was to like recontextualize that period for us too. And there are moments of joy, there are moments of like teenage angst, there are moments of, birthdays and weddings and like all the things that like, I really thought about it in terms of like visual imagery of like Americana. And it like when we think about Americana and like baseball games and barbecues, like you just think about white blonde children. And it's like Imran is in that, clip, and it's like that we also occupied those spaces. And so it was kind of like to recontextualize that moment for ourselves, and also kind of like I don't know, like even the visual language of that, of it being like, he's holding the camera, shooting his family's home videos. It's like our lens of how we saw ourselves. And I think that was like really important to me about making it not just from my perspective or even the perspective of our 3 participants, because as we all know, like Muslims are not a monolith. And there's also a lot of pressure for a single person to carry a story. And there's so much pressure when we make movies where like somebody's like, well, that's not my story. And I really wanted to make this like community narrative. But I think like in kind of doing that, like there is a lot of pressure and as a filmmaker of like trying to hold everybody. And so I do admit that like there's a lot of me in there. But there's, you know, it was really like trying to like bring everybody into the process so that we like everybody could sort of reclaim like our story like through like their voices and their images.
That's amazing. That's really beautiful. What was the response to it from the main community and our overall community?
Yeah, this is a really interesting question because I think, you know, I think it's really important that we're here today because I think it's really hard for people outside of the Muslim community to really understand our story. And I think there has been this like night and day, I would say, response to the film where there's been such an embrace by the community where like, it's crazy to me that people are like, it was like therapy for me to watch this movie, which is, you know, like really touching as a filmmaker to hear that. But from outside of the community, even the way the story was told, it was just like, just make it about these women, just make it about these activists. Like you can't have all these different characters. And like, you know, like there was the idea that we were creating a new language to tell our story and that we had to what existed like didn't work like for me to tell this story. And there was a lot of resistance, not just to what the story is about, but also the craft of it.
All right, thank you so much. It's beautiful. All right, yes, thank you. All right, let us play Qasim's clip, To Live and Die and To Live.
Muhammad. Good seeing you, Kevin. Hey, you know what? He never stopped talking about you. I want you to know that. Here, this for you. Hey, I'm proud of you. Don't look away from me. I'm proud of you. So proud of you. And I appreciate you looking out on these contracts. It's good looking out on that. You know, them the kind of cats, they ain't paying us no mind, but you. Oh, Muhammad, you done walked us right into them golden doors, man. Anyway, I figure it's best for you to close them out. A couple people owe us. But you can have that too, if you want it. I don't know. You can handle it, right? Muhammad, come on, man. These your friends. Now, let me see. These your people. Besides, you know Khaled run the business. I know my station. I quite like it. Hey. You remember you was a little boy, we take you on the rides, huh? You jump right in. You ain't have an ounce of fear. Jump on back in. I got it.
Okay, we can cut it here. Thank you. You can stop the clip, please.
Y'all in your trucks.
Thank you.
It used to be.
So Qasim, you are a writer-director, and he was also cinematographer on this, which is so crazy to me.
Yeah, it's crazy to me too.
I can't even wrap my head around it. You have a very distinct voice, and you tell these beautiful stories of our struggles. In this story, you go on the journey of grief. Can you tell us more about why you told the story now and the journey of the story?
Yeah, for sure. So something was telling me to tell a story that scared me. My stepfather passed away 5 years ago, and he had such a significant impact on me, you know. And you know, in this film, when I was a boy, I would go work with him. He was a carpenter, and he would take me on these jobs around Detroit. We would like really intense jobs, and learned how to work really, you know, and the juxtaposition of like physical labor versus, you know, the arts, right, is something that's explored in this film. And when it came to writing that story, I thought about the time I went home when he passed to bury him, and how hard it was for me to really process my grief. And I thought that could be interesting to explore at a time where every single person I know has lost like 2 to 10 people. You know, I don't know a single person that has not lost people in the last 2 years. I don't. So I always consider the larger context. It's like when I'm making a story, I'm like, this would be interesting for me, but like, would people want to see this and talk about it? In this moment, I thought so, and there began the journey of To Live and Die and Live, and so yeah, that's where it came from.
Yes, and can you tell us again? Go ahead.
Thank you.
And you can tell us like about your craft. So why did you just decide to be the DP as well?
So we had moved back to Detroit from LA. Just the pandemic was happening. Our kids, my wife's over there. We had a son and another one on the way. And my son's becoming a pandemic baby. It's just understanding us, like parents are at home. That's all he knows, you know. Every time I would leave, he's like freaking out. You know, he just did not. So it's like he's got all these cousins back home. Wife's from Chicago, so it's close to Detroit. Why don't we take them back? And being there and putting this movie together, I saw this clip more clearly than any movie I've ever seen. And I'm creating my shot list while simultaneously trying to find a DP, and every single shot is clear to me. Every single one of them. Every move, every angle. And I was able to find some like young filmmakers around Detroit. So I found a shooter who was great, that knew everything about, you know, the Arri Alexa and the signature primes that we were working with, and knew how to use the Ronin. Like, so my last film was a oneer, and I'm thinking I'm gonna use this. I'm not gonna make another oneer with this, but I'll employ some of those tactics of like doing these longer takes. As you saw in this one, we were moving a lot, just constantly, to be able to cover a lot of ground and shoot a lot of takes. And if I could find someone that was like, that could help me, because I knew I couldn't, it was very physical to shoot. And it almost reminded me of when I played football, because we had this like rig on that was really intense and heavy, and we had the camera, and this young brother was a soccer player, and so it was almost like, you know, I would shoot, give it to him, he would shoot, but creating that shot list, I just knew it, and it was like, all right, why don't I DP this? And it allowed me to get a lot more personal with this film. You saw it. It's like there are some moments where, like, you know, there were some moments that some of the talent actors didn't even know if they would do until they were on set for a few days and realized what we were doing. You know, there's a one of the actresses, and I think, you know, seeing the shower scene, she's like, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. But after a few days of being on set, it's like, look, it's gonna be me, you, and him, and I'm right there with you. You know, and so that allowed, I think, and some of the actors are here, maybe they could expound upon that, but that allowed them to be a little more vulnerable and a little more. So it actually really worked out to DP it. You know, I'd never DP'd anything before, but yeah, that was why.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, it was very clear, and even in the question and answer afterwards, like, you have a very strong connection with your actors, and the internal struggle was so externalized, and it was so beautiful seeing that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Qasim.
Of course.
Okay, let's play Aizzah's clip, Muslim Girls Discuss Their Faith.
Every day, hundreds of Muslim women are targeted. Thousands of Muslim women everywhere are suffering in silence because the media insists on talking about us, telling our stories for us, without ever involving us in the conversation. We are here to set the record straight about Muslim women.
Hi, I'm Aizzah. Because I'm Muslim, I love pasta. I'm Roxanne, and because I'm Muslim, I still have Windows 95.
Hi, I'm Zainab. Because I'm Muslim, I love Muhammad Ali.
I feel like this is a white power thing.
Your Honor, the Quran explicitly states that a woman is to dress with a modesty.
Now, with all due respect, the Quran ain't a real book.
Okay, counselors, this is just a preliminary hearing. What's the relevance?
Well, Jesus gave women hair so that we know that they are women. What if men get confused?
Well, not real men.
Okay, gentlemen, may I remind you why we're all here today?
Your Honor, if we don't tell the woman how to do the dress, how will she know it?
Well, that's not your job. Your job.
Corinthians 10:31, and I'm paraphrasing, says that thou shalt honor the Lord with how you dress. Now, you should honor your husband too. Fitted dress if she has a sexy figure.
Exhibit A. If I see the shape of her buttocks, I want to do hanky-panky.
Short sleeve above the elbow.
Long sleeve at all times.
Tight dress.
Loose dress down to her ankle.
Gentlemen, this is completely unprofessional.
Okay, one wrist and a little bit of her knee so when she sits cross-legged, I can have a show.
No wrist and no neck.
Well, if she don't show her neck, and how will we know she's wearing her crucifix?
Astaghfirullah.
Gesundheit. These people want women to wear ugly, baggy robes all day like the judge.
Excuse me, Richard?
No offense, Your Honor. Big and baggy looks great on you, and you can